No, this has to be the messiest drama I've ever seen. The internet is losing its mind over the release of the highly anticipated movie, It Ends With Us. If you've been living under a rock and have no idea what I'm talking about, then let's play a little game, okay? Just me and you. You have to guess what type of movie Blake Lively is promoting in this clip.
Well, I just really love romance, and I love it as an audience member, and I love it in my real life, and I just really believe in romance. It Ends With Us is in theaters now, so grab your friends, wear your florals, and head out to see it.
None of them. None of them. It's actually a movie about domestic violence. Yeah, I didn't get that either. To give you a little taste of some of the insane things to come, I just saw that they released a nail polish line inspired by the movie that is now being sold in stores. I wish I was joking. It Ends With Us is a screen adaptation of the book written by author Colleen Hoover. Colleen herself is actually quite controversial for some of the interesting things she's written in her books, but that's a different story. It Ends With Us follows our protagonist, Lily Blossom Bloom. Yes, that's her actual name. Lily Blossom Bloom owns a flower shop. Ironic. She is played by Miss Blake Lively. She then meets this guy Ryle and they start dating. Ryle is played by Justin Baldoni, who is also the director of the film. That is really important to remember. Everything was good until Lily's first love, Atlas, showed up in town. Ryle starts being abusive and we see these scenes from Lily's perspective and how she's being gaslit by Ryle to think that these are all just accidents. We follow Lily as she tries to break free from this horrible situation. As someone who's actually read the book, the story is so incredibly emotional and thought-provoking. I was actually really excited when I heard it was being turned into a movie. Although when the cast was announced, people were a bit skeptical, mainly because they decided to age the characters up about 15 years, whereas in the book, they're about early 20s. And also, photos from on set were leaked and people really did not like the outfits. The movie came out a few weeks ago and actually got some pretty decent reviews and was really popular. But that popularity didn't come from the movie itself, it actually came from what was going on behind the scenes, and that was the alleged drama between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. So where did it all go wrong? This all started at the premiere of the movie. It seemed that everyone was having a good time, even Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman showed up, but then people started to notice that Justin wasn't taking pictures with any of the other cast members. So people started to do some digging and they realized that the whole cast had unfollowed Justin on Instagram, including Colleen. Initially, the thought was, wow, Justin must be really terrible to work with, right? I mean, after all, it seems to be Justin versus literally everyone else. Fans were also starting to notice the huge difference in how Justin and Blake have chosen to promote this movie, which again is about domestic violence.
What comes to mind isn't so much about the work that went into it, but about the why behind it. If a Lily Bloom in real life can sit in this theater and maybe make a different choice for herself, that's why I made the movie.
When I grew up, these were movie events, stories that had laughter and love and joy and pain and sadness and the messiness of the female experience.
The one thing you want people to take away from this project, what would you say?
Hope. And that everybody has the ability to end a cycle that they didn't ask for. We can all say it ends with us in our life.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I never really looked at it as a story about darkness or hope necessarily. Hope is in there, but I look at it as a woman's story.
Are they talking about the same movie? And on top of this, Blake thought that this premiere would be the perfect time to promote her new hair care line. After each interview she did, she would test her product out on the interviewer. Which, I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like she's making their hair worse. Also, Ryan Reynolds seems to play a huge role in the promotion of this movie for some reason. A lot of people aren't happy with it because they say it's taking the attention away from the rest of the cast, which, I don't know, I don't personally agree with. I think there's no issue with having your husband join you at your premiere. But what I do think is a bit strange is having him conduct interviews like this.
It's not every day the husband gets to interview his wife's love interest in a film. It's kind of crazy.
I don't remember seeing this on the schedule.
Let's dive in, shall we? So I saw you posing in a photo with Mrs. Reynolds, and I'm sorry, what do you call her? Do you guys have a nickname or something? Oh, okay, no, just so it's Mrs. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if the whole controlling husband approach is really the right way to go about promoting this movie, but go off, I guess. There's a lot of speculation that Blake is just trying to have a Barbenheimer moment, of course with her husband's movie Deadpool and Wolverine coming out right before it. It's almost like she's trying to promote it in the same way that Margot Robbie was trying to promote Barbie, but this isn't Barbie. What really set people off though was this clip of Justin where he's basically insinuating that him and Blake had some creative differences.
We do have It Starts With Us, so I'm hoping to see you back in the double duty role.
I think there are better people for that one.
Justin.
I think Blake Lively's ready to direct. That's what I think. So, yeah.
Okay, he pretty much told us without telling us. This started a social media storm, and it seems like every day something new is coming out. This feud allegedly happened on set because Justin, who is the director, really wanted to keep the characters in the story as close to the book as possible, but Blake basically wanted to turn the character of Lily Bloom into herself.
Well, I'm not the type of actor who can act without producing, you know, like you can't just put me in any clothes and give me any words and have me step in and transform.
Isn't that the point of being an actor? The character of Lily Bloom is like a girl next door type of vibe, if you can imagine what type of outfits those would be like. But Blake decided to change Lily's entire vibe and her clothing. She says that Lily's clothes consist of her own clothes from home, as well as her husband Ryan's clothes and Gigi Hadid's, which is so random. These creative disagreements between Blake and Justin actually delayed production as a whole. Colleen Hoover, Blake Lively, and Ryan Reynolds are actually really close in real life, and during the delay of this production, they decided to make some changes to the film. Ryan decides to get involved, and he actually rewrote the rooftop scene, which is one of the most important scenes because it's where Lily and Ryle meet for the first time. Completely not discussing it with Justin, who again is the director of the movie. Also, the writer of this movie was completely unaware that this even happened because Ryan rewrote it in the middle of the writer's strike. She stated that she was surprised when she saw the final cut of the movie, but she just assumed that it was improvised on set. She never realized that it was Ryan who actually changed it until after the movie was released. I mean, watching it, I should have known that Ryan Reynolds had some involvement. Lily makes a joke about Ryle looking like a crypto bro.
Thought you were a crypto bro.
You thought I was a crypto bro?
It was so out of place. Once production gets back on track with filming, it's pretty clear the power that Blake has being besties with Colleen. It seemed that she was allowed to have more creative control than Justin was. What a lot of people don't know as well is that there was 2 edits of the movie. Justin and Blake both worked on their separate edits, but in the end, Sony decided to go with the more feminine edit, which was Blake's. You can also see these differences in the poster itself. This is the poster currently being promoted. I think it's okay, I guess. It just looks like a low-budget romance movie. And do you see how Blake's name is the only name on it? Interesting. But what's more interesting is that this isn't the original poster. This is. Now, this gives a completely different vibe to the movie. It shows it in a darker type of light, and I really like how there's 2 main characters seen on it, as well as 3 of their names at the top. Back to the Justin and Blake drama, it seems that people are kind of on both sides with it. On TikTok, I've seen people absolutely bashing Blake Lively, but on Twitter, it seems that people are saying, well, maybe Justin did do something wrong. Although we don't know exactly what happened, we do have some things that have come out against both sides. So obviously, people are pretty upset with Blake, saying that she's not doing the story justice by turning the promotion into stuff that's just not related to the film. She's just coming across extremely out of touch.
Why is Deadpool Wolverine sold out? I'm sorry, I got distracted back there. I feel offended, but we're not out yet. That's fine. I'm happy about that. No, I didn't even answer it. Sorry, it's like flashing sold out.
But on the other side, people are questioning whether Justin is completely clean in this situation. The entire cast unfollowed him and refused to even speak about him when asked.
Talk to me, what was that like, having him be director but also scene partner?
I mean, what an intense job, like to have to do so many things. I just found myself being like, wow, I really just want to have one job at once.
On top of that, there were a few articles that came out that alleged that Justin apparently made Blake very uncomfortable on set. In the movie, there's a scene where Justin lifts Blake up into the air. Apparently, Justin has a history of back problems, and he went to his on-set trainer to ask how much Blake weighed so that he could train to protect his back from injury. Now, this took place actually a few months after Blake gave birth, and when she heard about Justin's comment, she felt like Justin had fat-shamed her. There was also another situation where Blake felt that Justin lingered too long in a kiss. This is all just speculation, but I did want to share both sides so you guys can get the full story. What's interesting is that Justin has actually just hired the same PR team as Johnny Depp, which had some people questioning the intention behind it if everyone's already publicly so against Blake Lively. But of course, we as viewers don't actually know what's going on behind the scenes, and we can only go off what we see. I think this clip is really interesting, where it seems that the two are having an argument on set. It seems like he's trying to direct her and she's just not happy with the decision. I think it would be tough having two strong voices have completely different artistic views. This next clip also tells us a lot.
The chemistry with Justin was off the charts. And Blake, you always have a vision. So talk to me about how sometimes you were even the intimacy coordinator in some of those sexier scenes. Like we saw you.
That shouldn't be happening, by the way. You should not be the intimacy coordinator. You should definitely hire intimacy coordinators, which we did have.
Well,
thank
you
goodness.
were teaching Justin how to pull you in.
Where have you
loved
seen
that.
this?
I
clip?
actually just saw it too. It was on Instagram yesterday, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like, you know, romance is really important.
It's so strange that she was trying to deny that that ever happened. And it's even more funny because you have Colleen on the side who's like, oh yeah, I saw that video today. You're not helping. What's been the most damaging for Blake throughout this is definitely just the way that she's presenting herself. Apart from her only talking about fashion, there's also some not nice clips that have come out. I don't think that celebrities like Blake Lively have actually caught on to the fact that people don't really care about celebrities in the same way that they used to. This type of thing wouldn't happen in any other social situation if she was around people of the same status as her. It's just wrong. Apparently famous people won't sign something that's clear because their signature can be copied and sold.
You're so great. No clear ones, you know better.
But I just think it's the whole attitude in the way that she said it. Okay, now here's the clip that shocked me the most. Just listen to this.
For people who see this movie, who relate to the topics of this movie, they're really going to want to talk to you. This movie is going to affect people and they're going to want to tell you about their life. So if someone comes across you in public and they want to really talk to you, what's the best way for them to be able to talk to you about this? How would you recommend they go about it?
Like asking for like my address or my phone number or like my location share. Or I could just location share you and then we could, I'm just curious about
social security number.
I'm a Virgo, so I'm like, are we talking logistics? Are we talking emotionally?
His face really just says it all. Okay, firstly, I think that was actually quite a difficult question. I personally don't think that just because someone's a face of a story means that they're obligated to, you know, be a space for people to just unload their own trauma, because that can really be a lot for someone. She's an actor playing a role. She didn't actually go through these things. She's not the real life character. But aside from that, how she actually answered the question was just really strange. I think she felt uncomfortable by the question and tried to turn it into a joke, but it just didn't really work. If she doesn't feel okay with people coming up to her and talking to her about these things, then I think this could have been a perfect opportunity for her to talk about helplines and to try and direct people to better resources. Her whole vibe has just been quite off-putting. I do think this sarcastic tone is just her normal humor though. I came across this old clip which has a very similar vibe.
Movie you laughed the hardest through?
Shawshank Redemption.
That is one of the saddest movies of all time, and it's quite obvious that her answer was sarcasm. You can tell by the comments on this clip that people actually really took her seriously in thinking that she found this movie funny. So her keeping this dry, sarcastic approach to her interviews about this very serious movie just isn't going down well. What is causing the most outrage though is this interview from 2016. This Norwegian journalist is interviewing Blake, and she says that the interview was so bad that it nearly made her quit her job. Blake was promoting a movie that she was starring in that was directed by Woody Allen. That just in itself is extremely problematic, the fact that she is willing to work with Woody Allen after everything that he's done. Some information, Blake was pregnant at the time and this was public knowledge. So remember that when you watch this clip.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
What about my bump?
That is so weird. I can't tell if Blake was offended by her comment or what. It's just such a strange and cruel reaction. To make matters worse, the journalist stated in an article that she's actually infertile, so that comment just hit her like a bullet. After this comment, it seems that Blake and the other actress just decide to punish the interviewer by just having a conversation with themselves and just acting like mean girls.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Did you guys love wearing those kind of clothes that you...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, working in digital...
Everyone wants to talk about the clothes, but I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes.
I would.
I love Jesse's suits and how
that's what I'm saying. His wardrobe was beautiful.
I know,
Corey's
everybody.
wardrobe was
I know.
gorgeous.
He's
Those
so
high-waisted pants. Yeah, it's not just the women that have the clothes.
But
I feel like the women
Victoria-
get the conversation, but it's like
Yeah.
every detail with everybody.
Yeah,
It's so,
it was
so beautiful.
amazing.
This just makes me feel so sad. I can't even watch it. I also think it's funny how she made that comment about, oh, would you ask the men about their clothing? But when promoting It Ends With Us, all she can talk about is the clothing. Make it make sense. This video just really shocked people, especially because this is how she's been talking about herself in recent interviews.
It was like, someone on social media is calling you a crown straightener. I said, what's that? She said, a woman who goes around straightening other women's crowns. And I was just like, oh, it was just like the best compliment I've ever been given, because I do identify as that when you think about it, because it's like, it's easier to be self-deprecating.
Regardless of the drama that's been happening behind the scenes, I just think it's incredibly disappointing that the movie is being marketed in this way. I've seen quite a lot of people say that they went into the movie thinking it was just a romance movie, and being extremely taken back and triggered when the actual themes of the movie started. It does take you by surprise, and it is pretty extreme. This movie could have been such a good opportunity to open up these important conversations, but instead it's being handled like this.
While we have you, we'd talk to our younger selves, and they talk to us, and we get advice from each other.
Yeah, because like if you could say something to your younger self, that'd be pretty cool. Like what would you warn yourself, your older self with fashion, you two?
I would warn myself on like caring too much about trends.
I'm sorry, I like side parts.
No, that's
I'm
not
sorry,
you.
Isabella.
This was set up to be a really heartfelt moment between the main actors and the actors playing their younger selves, but instead for some reason she changes the question to be about fashion. That pretty much sums up this entire thing. It Ends With Us is a book that was so special to so many people. The movie really should have been done with just a lot more care. I did actually quite enjoy the movie, and I did think it was really book accurate. There definitely should have been more PR training on Blake's side, and I don't think people are wrong to feel hurt by it. Anyway, please tell me your guys' opinions on this drama. I'd love to hear different types of opinions. And tell me if there's anything that I missed, because it just seems that there is something new that comes out every single day, and it's just... it just seems like a mess. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. I'm gonna put some helplines and different types of resources in the description so that if you or anyone you know that is struggling with things can get the help that you need. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!